I think so JFrame is needed for website, but if you don't write JFrame here, so it can work because this is a normal program, not website. Public static void main, that is the function we need to input strings and all. So scanner sc, so it takes the variable, and dot in means input, so it takes the variable from the user to run the conditions or anything to run the code. System is, I think so, to tell the computer about input or output. So I think so it is that input output system means something. So we may create variables in Java. There's nothing already there, so we have to always start with new word to give variable name. In most compilers you have prompt area to assign in the same variable assigning code of user input, but in Java there is nothing like that. So you have to print the your prompt before, then you have to take the input variables, and always make the input variable local scope if you are using conditionals, not global scope. That I will try to explain later. So in system.out, so we are giving output, so println is print line, so whatever line you have to print, write that in the brackets. Then there is a semicolon, which is the terminator, making that line independent, or ending that line of code, that it will be executed independently without any affecting without of getting affected by the other part of the code. So you have to write it as string. If you want, then in double quotes, or if it is a number, I think so you can write it directly. So after showing the prompt, so after scanner sc, where I took a variable, where I made the new variable means definition, then I wrote the prompt which I want. So then I will make the variable where I have to scan or take the user input, that I will define int gd equal to that, okay, next int, which means whatever next integer would be, you have to take it as the variable gd, okay. Then we take if else condition. So in if else condition, so first is if. In if there is a condition, if it gets true, then the code gets followed, and if it is false, then it moves to the next condition, which is else uh, if there are more than two conditions, and if it is only two conditions, then instead of else if there is else, which means obviously if that gets false, then if statement gets false condition, then if it doesn't matches that the user input, then to the condition of if, then it moves to else block of code, okay. So I wrote if gd equal to that. So if it matches, but we can also do nested if, that in if there will be a set of conditions, like it is like hierarchical, what we say, hierarchical mapping sort of stuff. If it is like that, so one parent branch can be further analyzed by this nested if, by its branches, so we can apply conditions on that. If will have a certain set of uh, condition checks, then else will have certain condition checks and all, so like that. So double equal to checks, single equal to assigns, that means says that this variable has this value, this is equal to this, but uh, it tells that this is equal to this, but double equal to compares, I mean it sees if this is equal to this. It asks itself the question that is LHS equal to RHS, so it checks that, and then if it is true, then it runs a certain statement. And after if there is a condition, which is the expression you want to get matched with your user input, then we write the statements in curly braces that you want to print, and the user input, where we want to get the variable, that function which is scanner. In after that we have to write int or the type of variable we are using, and then in front of that we have to write the variable name, then sc, which means scan, then dot next int means next whatever that variable type is, data type is, like int char and all, character int for numbers and char for characters, and that. So it will be taken from next line. So then I checked if gd is equal to 0. You can do y or n for yes and no, but I thought let's make it a little binary looking, so I did 0 and 1. Then I had to do local scope, means of where the if condition is going on, there before that only I have to take the variable, or it will be confused for the whole condition stuff, means it will go out of the block of code, it will not stay inside. Means I am saying that if I apply it for the first condition, that same variable for the second condition, then it will show both according to the first condition. It will not do nested conditions, it will not check the second condition, it will directly write it. So yeah, and in the first line you can see I'm importing java swing library, but the star after that, which you can see, it is inserting all libraries, it means. But if you want to make your program more specific, more taking less runtime, and saving space, and saving memory, better bigger notation, so you have to take specific function, you have to import specific library, not the whole bunch. So take it like that. Or if you are just doing for practice, then you can obviously take the whole bunch, so that it's more better easy for you. So use the star one after the library overall. If I want to explain you the overall algorithm, basically, so it is like that ki, you have to write 0 and 1, then you have to check if you have to write 0 and 1 for 0 for if you have to check your family history, if the disease is gender specific, then write 1, if it is not, then write 0. Okay, and so basically this is the first branching, where if yes, then if it is gender specific, then it is X-linked disease. If it is non-gender specific, then it is it is autosomal or non-X-linked. So if it is like that, the first branch is getting over. But then in that we have to apply these were two conditionals, so if else. Okay, but in the first if also there are two branches, we have to write 0 and 1 if it is skipping generation or not skipping generation, as skipping generation shows that it is recessive disease, autosomal or X-linked, both have the same branchings, recessive and dominant. So if it is not skipping generation, then it is dominant, if it is skipping generation, it is recessive. So we will take 0 and 1 like that. Also keep one extra, use mostly else if, so that in else if 0 and 1 are if instead of those keys someone presses other keys, it would at least show him some error. Or if they click random key also, they would get some output, wrong output, which is also wrong, or they won't get any output, so that won't be satisfactory, they would be in confusion, so that would be also not so better. So make a invalid number conditional 2, so it may be 3 conditionals, but it's okay, it would look good, much more good. So first one is in autosomal. You have to make in that if condition, you have to make more if, else if, then else for 0 and 1 and invalid. So in the first one it goes like that. In the first one, which is X-linked, there would be dominant and recessive. If it is, we would check that. Then also in else if condition, where you have written 0, gd is equal to 0, but you have to make different variables, or it would be a confusion. You would write about autosomal and X-linked, it would mix it with uh, recessive or dominant. And for X-linked, take other variable for that inside branching recessive or dominant, and for autosomal also take different variable. So you have to take total 3 variables, but take it in local scope. Okay, so I am saying that take first variable outside the whole program, then take the second variable for the inside autosomal if else condition, for the if else which is nested in it, then write the second variable, third variable in the else if condition, where you are writing about autosomal. First if was X-linked, then else if would be autosomal. So in that one you have to write for recessive dominant. For checking that, you have to take another variable, or they would mix up. Okay, they would mix up. You are checking about autosomal, you are checking about autosomal or X-linked, they would show about dominant, recessive also, they would mix up and show you. Or if you write in global scope, you would tell them about autosomal or recessive, but they will also consider the same one for in the they would consider the same for the uh, dominant and recessive also, but your response can be different. Maybe it is maybe it is 0 for the first condition but 1 for the second condition, but it won't take like that. It would take same condition for both. It will take 0 for both if you do global scope. So write it in local scope. So you have if you have written that, then so after the 0 and 1, autosomal and X-linked, in that recessive and dominant was over in both of them. So then the third one would be else. Your input was invalid, because if instead of was 0 and 1 they would put 2, then it would show them some result. Means even if they put 2, then also it will show the result of 1, because you have done else. So it takes all the conditions other than 0, which is not cool, because they can press any key in the world and it would just give them wrong, then it would become wrong result if they give some result. It should be specific. So for that you have to put it is not necessary, that's also cool, but if you want to make it better, then please add the extra invalid input instruction, so that it can be more clearer, it would be more good program. So yeah, so I hope whatever I have shown you have understood, and it is and you enjoyed the lecture, maybe not lecture, I would say maybe discussion, and you have seen the code maybe. So I hope you liked it, and check the outputs. I have given the outputs also, and I think so the screenshots of the code also. So yeah, and please consider to like, share, subscribe to watch more of the videos which you want to subscribe to watch more videos early, and you would get notifications. And if you like, obviously it would be a token of motivation, and share your friends who want to watch codes, and comment below what you want to say, or if I missed something to say in this.